Morning, Monday, November 10. November 10. Man, it's getting through. We're getting through it. It is cold. It's actually going to be nice today, but like it's going to be tomorrow morning when we woke up here at the beach. It's going to be like in the 40s. I was actually thinking about I was going to do one of those walking on the sand beach videos for you guys, and had kind of pinned tomorrow. And then, got to be honest, I thought twice about that. So if you see that from me all bundled up, that'll be a landmark video event. But man, we're flowing through it. It was a steady week, but not a crazy busy week. You know, I had some showings. We did some showings, but it's that time right now between like Halloween and Thanksgiving where we've got that kind of everybody's kind of thinking about Thanksgiving a little bit. There's still plenty of transactions going on, but we're in that little spot. You know what I mean? And it's starting to get cold, so everybody's adjusting. You can see from behind me the joiners are in full. We just skip right over Thanksgiving. We get on into Christmas. So I had to wait. That barely got past Halloween before that was up. So that's just the way we do it here at the Joiner house. But let's go share screen. I hope everybody is doing amazing. We had a great weekend, busy Saturday with some new listings coming up, all that fun stuff. So we're excited. Lots going on, and we're going to help a lot of people. But let's just see what's going on in the numbers. So let's go. 45 new listings. Now, listen, if you remember last week, this 45, even though it's kind of right in line with everything that we've been doing, I think it had a chance to be lower. But do you remember last week when I was telling you that a lot of those properties that expired would be coming back on the market? I just went back through this for you guys, and at least 30% of those on the list right now are things that had expired last week. Okay. So they didn't all mad rush come on. That's the great news, right? But about 30% of these new listings that you see are from that expired wave of 100 that we had last week on Halloween. Okay. Pending sales 19. So listen, pending sales at 19, if you remember, if you've been watching for any amount of time, us being in the teens is something we really haven't experienced, right? Like we've been in those 20s. And you can say, hey, Casey, I mean, like this is funny for me to even say, give yourself a break there. Like it's maybe a couple of deals and you've been like at 21, 22. Well, listen, the only reason I say that is this is just a metric that we read, right? So it's 72-hour window for the week that was. And we've just been on such a roll with that 50%. And what that does is it works through the inventory. I'm going to talk more about inventory as we go into the shoulder season because there's some misconceptions about our inventory level. But at the same time, that's what we've kept pace with, right? So for us to be under 50% this week, it certainly didn't feel like we slowed up on writing deals, but I expected that the inventory would come down. So I think that the expireds being so heavy actually messed us up this past week. At the same time, I still wanted to stay in the 20s each week as we go through the end of the year. Okay. Close 17, that's right on par. Let's look at price changes 55. There's still a lot of movement in that, right? That still works. A lot of movement. I was going through my listings last week and I was sharing with my owners, like, we're getting a ton of online views. And I'm saying that we measure that metric too. I don't just say a lot of online views. Like I compare it to something, right? Like the online, like there's a lot of online shopping. There always is, but right now we're in a season where a lot of people are kind of surveying the landscape. Okay. Let me see this. Expired 7. So remember last week, what were we? I don't have it exactly. I think we were at 101. This week we got 7 expireds. And that's what I mean. That was, for the most part, those were clerical mess ups that are going to mess up our inventory. So that's probably going to shake out over the next 2 weeks. So here's my takeaway this week. I wish the pendings would have stayed in the 20s, but we're in that lull right now. Like if it's going to happen, maybe this is it. We're going to have a rush toward the end of the year. Okay. As everybody gets with their accountants and we close this thing out strong. That's my prediction. But I think that the inventory would have been much lower had all that big wave of expires not happened last week. All right. Let me tell you about some other things we're working on right now, and it's super interesting. We are really, really, really trying to get a firm handle on the actual rental income that came in 2025. And it's tough for me. Like I've got investors right now that I'm working hard to, they're ready to buy something compelling out there, and I'm ready to sell them something compelling. Okay. but it's really tricky on some of these projects to get the actual rental numbers versus the projections. Overwhelmingly, we still have the projections. It's just so hard to go by the projections, right? So I mean, it's taking me way longer than anticipated to just gather this info. But you know what? And I'll say this to agents out there: agents, get your actual rental history in your hands. It's November. We know what the year is going to be. And the sooner that the buyers can have that information, they're ready to make something happen. The rates have come down twice, right? I got a property tax break this year. Okay. Mine came down this year, which is nice. It kind of just settled in, right? I think we're coming off of 21, 22. So everything's kind of settling down. So what I'm feeling is these buyers are getting ready. They're talking to their lenders and they want to see the actuals. Okay. And they know if you've used it, they can see if you've used it July 4th and the week after, and that would have been 7 extra grand. Like we can see that. Okay. So you don't have to protect that with the projections. Just give it to us. Right. So that's what's the bit of my frustration this past week was I have some people like ready to go, but it's just like getting the info and getting it rolling. So listen, I think we're going to finish strong. I think we're going to be back up in the 20s. And I think the inventory after this week is going to settle in. So let's watch it. What I'm watching for next week is I want to see that inventory level probably come down a little bit. And let's pick up that pending rate back up into the mid 20s, right? Thank you to a lot of you. Still meeting with you on a weekly basis. I appreciate the comments. I really do. I had some people side text me about some things, and I'm asking you, listen, if there's anything else you'd like me to bring, like I did one this past week on DeSantis's Florida tax, and it's so funny. I got some texts and even some comments. It gets wild once you step into anything that mentions like DeSantis and the political world. Like I like talking to you guys because y'all are interested in buying and selling and maybe living on 30A. That's my sweet spot. But when you venture out into Florida as a whole and start talking about a mass thing and mention a governor, boy, the political side comes in, right? So I'm just trying to be informational. I'm sharing with you the facts. And so I appreciate all of you that watch this weekly because it's a little different than when you go out into the deeper waters of talking about a Florida-wide issue, right? So I'm going to keep doing that. It's interesting. It's very important for us. And the property tax thing is a wild one to kind of keep an eye on. So I'm going to continue to do that for you. So if you haven't seen that video, I break down all those things that they were voting on just so you can see where the conversation is around those property tax. But listen, appreciate you guys. Lots going on. I can tell you this offseason, I'm going to be digging in a little bit more to that investor product because it's been a little bit colder and we're about to get ready to see a season of that. And I'm kind of digging through the inventory right now. We're getting active on it and we're going to be really digging into these rates. I'm going to bring back on peers. I'm going to bring on some rental managers. And I still promise to get that CPA to you. It wasn't going to work out this week, but we're going to talk about the depreciation aspect of those investment properties. All right. Appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you next week and call me. Let me know anything in the notes that you'd like to see more of. Appreciate you. Have an awesome week.